I'm here with scrapbook expert Allie Edwards, who is a great scrapbook page designer, a wonderful blogger, and she also designs stamps and digital files, all sorts of stuff. And she is a huge proponent of Project Life. And Allie, you're going to tell us all about your Project Life. So first, what is Project Life?
So Project Life for me is a weekly documentation. It's really kind of what I do every single week. I open up my album, I'm sticking photos, I'm sticking receipts, I'm sticking journaling in there, and then I can see a week at a glance for every week, and I've been doing it for like the last 3 years.
That's amazing, and you're using these divided page protectors, right?
I'm using divided page protectors, and I use the same ones every week, which have 8 4x6.
You never change the design that you use.
No, I use the same one. The only change I do will be on inserts. So some weeks, if I have a longer story to tell or more photos, I will add in another insert. But in general, I'm using the same one every week. It keeps it very simple, consistent.
And I can see you brought some examples where I can see you have used the same version of your page protectors every time.
Same version every time. And then what it ends up being, this is my title page, and so my title page is a little bit different, and I've kind of reversed it where I have the photos across the middle, and then I have a few different pattern sections here. This one right here is a die cut that I did, that I hand drew and then die cut out, and you can see that it's a see-through element.
So you just used an electronic die cutter, you scanned it in, and then you cut it.
Yep. Exactly. Perfect. And then you can see over here, I've got, this is also die cut, a design that I did with the days of the week. And then each day I'm journaling what happened. So the journaling is going all the way across a 2-page spread.
You know, I often find when I have that much journaling, it gets really hard on my page because I don't like the way it looks on a traditional scrapbook page. Yes. But here it just looks awesome.
Well, and this is the idea. Not every week do I have journaling that goes all the way across, just sometimes. And I like that look. And that's actually what we're going to be talking about today. I have another example down here that shows kind of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Again, it's an easy way to organize it, especially for if I had something specific. Like the top one was an example of when we went to Disneyland, and the other one was a camping trip. My general weekly things are different things each day.
Okay, but this is a nice way to get an event into your Project Life album, as opposed to doing a scrapbook page or a mini album.
Exactly, and I think it's nice to have something to focus on. The example that I'm going to show you today follows the same idea where you create a formula for the journaling cards. Each one has a rounded circle, a silver circle tag that you could get in the office supply store, and then journaling. And each day I'm talking about something I'm celebrating for each of those days.
I love how you varied the position of the tag in each of them. I think it adds so much interest.
Yes.
So why don't you take us through, first I know this title card has some nice detailing.
So each week.
It's right there, I think.
Oh, thank you. I'm like, whoa. Each week I do a title card, and that just basically tells me what the dates are. You know, it's May 27th through June 2nd, and that always for me, again, I keep it really simple. I want to have it go in the same way. So you just started with the easy sheet of this beautiful sunny yellow pattern paper. Picked a very happy pattern paper, and then I picked a second pattern paper that has these lines. Excuse me, I'll grab it out of there. Has the lines on it, and this is a good example of where sometimes when people see this pattern paper and they would think the only way that you could use it is with all the stuff already on it. I just cut that off and went ahead and made this little section right here.
I like making your supplies work for you.
Yeah, me too. And maybe eventually, you know, I would use those on something else. It just kind of goes into my stash pile there.
So in terms of putting your page together, what I find so interesting is you have basically put all your photos in already. Like that part's done first.
Yes. So this is how I work most of the time. Photos first, and then I go back in and do the journaling and maybe add some embellishments onto the photos.
Do you print these at home or do you send them out?
I print them at home. Yep, I do home printing. And for me, I think because it's my job and because I want to be really up to date on it, it's easier for me to just do it at home.
I like the immediacy of being able to print at home too. And I know that you rounded the corners and you matched it here too.
Yes, I round the corners on everything. I started off that way a few years ago, and I like the look. So keep it real simple. Let's talk about the middle part.
Let's do it.
Okay. So the middle part, I made journaling cards for all of them, and I started out. Let's just show a few. These ones are actually already done in terms of getting them started, and they have. Move it over here. What I did is I stamped first.
So you took that same pattern paper right here that you had cut the strip off of, and you just used a regular stamp with some stamping ink. Okay.
Stamping ink, and then I just used a little circle punch.
You could, of course, also use an electronic die cutter, especially something that you could scan it in, see where it is, and exactly cut it out.
And it would give you each one of these little 1-inch punches. Absolutely. And then what I did is I took one of these are these metal rimmed circle tags, you know, that you would get at the office supply store.
I love shopping for scrapbook supplies at the office supply store.
Love. Like I could just, yes, for sure. And I'm adding just a little bit of adhesive on there and covering up the hole.
Oh, you know what I like? This didn't actually have to be the same size as the tag. It's actually slightly smaller and the white just kind of blends.
Well, and I want the metal. Like I want to see the metal, which is a big part of that as well. Now the other thing that I did, you could easily just pop that on right on there. But I took some scissors and I decided, because I wanted them to go off the edge and to vary them, I just cut it.
Pushing with some pressure. So you just need a big pair of scissors to really make that work.
And then you can just adhere it right down on there, just like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that ends up looking good. And then I just stamped the "Celebrate This" sentiment right on there using silver. Repeated here, and then I repeated the silver up above.
And I noticed that you inked the edges here too.
I did, and that actually came about kind of closer to the end. I think when I did this at home, I actually pulled it up and then inked the edges and put it back down because I wanted to repeat that idea.
I have to admit, I do a lot of pulling up things. I become an expert glue releaser.
I do it all the time. That's part of, you know, looking at the whole thing and then wanting to make some changes to make it more cohesive overall.
Okay, and then I know that besides the journaling, you have one extra little spot here. Can you take us through? Just tell us about that card a little bit.
This card, here's the example right here. And basically what I did is I took another piece of paper, pattern paper here from the that gorgeous stack, and added a little bit of more stamping.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that I like about using all these coordinated papers is that you don't have to like buy a kit of stuff to make your project work, because it's all going to automatically match because they've done the work for you.
Right, and you can just repeat. I mean, the great thing, especially in a divided pocket page protector sort of thing, you're only using bits and pieces, so you can make it significantly smaller.
And I notice you're using the orange ink again, so again, we're pulling the color orange through.
I'm big on it. I don't want to make it more complicated. I don't want to have to think farther along. I just want to be able to repeat the same thing.
And the silver embellishment does the same thing.
A little bit of handwriting. And this one, I actually used the lines on there. I'm going to do it my way here.
Oh, that's a great way of being neat. Because you're actually using the grid that's on the pattern paper to line it up. And you can see here on the finished page, I didn't even think about it, but yeah, your lines are so straight and perfect. And it really, again, it's that graphic signature style that you have, which is absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, Allie.